some really good ones on the slate, and this is one of them.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of high-quality matches coming up this week, but it's amazing to see how many racers wanted to play on Monday already.
Yeah, I mean, people been chomping at the bit all week, and oh, it looks like the runners are already off. Starting here in the uncle's house, we have problems with the beloved Penguin Link sprite, and Cube with, it's not Dark Link, it's like Gray Link. I can't tell, but I like both of the sprites.
Yeah, same. Yeah, Problems has been rocking the Pete, the Penguin Link for quite a while now, so it's nice to see him using that again. And yeah, I guess it's not really Gandalf the Grey, but more like Link the Grey for this one. And,
yeah,
we got a bottle with a fairy as a first item. That's definitely a nice safety to have.
Yeah, or a frustrating one if you're trying to death warp. But, and ooh, it's Cane of Samaria today for the runners.
It's yeah, the Cane of Burna actually. It's the blue one.
Yeah. Yes, that one. Whoops. That's, I need to get my head in gear. But yeah, Cane of Burna.
That's okay, we're still in the warm-up phase.
Yeah, rip corrections.
Yeah, it's the Cane of Burna is definitely a bit tougher to get through escape with. You need to be a bit more careful with your magic when eventually farming bombs or something. So I think they're hoping to find some bombs in the chest, and otherwise they'll have to get to the back of escape a bit later.
Yeah, I've only run 1 or 2 Burna seeds so far, and I definitely had enough magic to kill all of the required guards, and I think I had enough to do maybe 2 extra guards on the way, 2 extra green guards, but there's not a lot of magic wiggle room. You can farm the first 2 guards sort of right after Uncle for bombs, because you get those small pots right away. But then the rest of it, you only have so many shots to get bombs from drops.
Yeah, I think they'll probably try to go through the hallway with the snakes. There's quite a high density of possible drops there, but otherwise they'll have to be quite careful just in case the key rat decides to hop away.
Yeah, I like farming the rats sort of in the very back room where you want to use the bombs, because you've already gotten by the key rat in case he's going to be a jerk. But oh wow, there is an 8 bomb drop for Cube.
Okay, so that was probably the first drop in the series. So I think Problems will get that soon enough as well, but I'm not sure if he'll kill any other green guards or if the snakes are in the same price pack. I'm not actually sure of that one.
Yeah, I don't know if the ropes are in the same pack as the green guards. I know the green guards and the blue guards aren't. And oh, there is the 8 bomb drop, and Problems, yeah, rightly going right back to snag that. That'll be good. Both runners will be on equal footing here in the back of the escape.
Yeah, this will probably be smooth sailing the rest of escape. They both have plenty of magic to get the key rat, and well, 8 bombs is more than you'll ever need in the back.
Yeah, I mean, 8 is almost as many as the game gives you when you're supposed to do escape just with bombs. Which, to be fair, that 10 bombs can be pretty tight, but
yeah, definitely.
On top of a full magic bar, this should be pretty cozy. Both runners also with the blue mail and an extra heart to boot. So I think it's a pretty safe escape.
But yeah,
I was gonna say. Meanwhile, both runners have gotten through Ball and Chain Guard, gotten the princess, and are making their way up to the throne room to push aside the entrance to the back part of the escape. But not too much to go on so far with the seed.
Yeah, Problems. I had a room or two, just slightly better movement through the castle, but both have had a really smooth first half of the escape.
Yeah, which we haven't gotten to really talk about it yet, but both of these runners are 1-0 in the Swiss of the tournament, so they both won their week 1 matchup. Problems beat Kipasagi in round 1, and Cube beat Raikou Rider. And so both these runners looking to try and secure a second match win. but I know Problems has had a lot of success sort of in various incarnations of A Link to the Past Randomizer, and so I'm excited to get to watch him play today.
Oh, wow. Nice lamp right there. That means no dark rooms this seed.
Yeah,
but yeah,
no
Problems
gifted
IRL
light
has had
gun.
Problems has had a really good Key Sanity tournament. He went 5-0 in the Swiss stage there. Sadly took a loss in the brackets, but he'll definitely be trying to make a good showing in this tournament as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that of the many names, we had 512 players enter into this. The tournament filled, so we have a full bracket, and of the 512, 128 are going to make it through. And I kind of tried to sketch out who I thought was going to make it through from my limited knowledge. Of course, I'm going to be very wrong about it, but Problems, I think one of those players I'm going to be looking to hopefully see make it through the brackets.
Yeah, as far as shoe-ins go, he'll probably be on the top of the list of those. But that doesn't count out Cube either. He's been doing pretty well in the races as well.
No, I mean, with Randomizer, it's always anyone's game, and so far Cube has been showing pretty solid movement. I mean, Problems' movement has been exceptional, and skipping the chest here in Sanctuary has recognized that it is the map. So that was very, very good insight by Problems. We'll see if Cube makes the same acknowledgement here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good heads-up play, saving a couple of seconds, and Cube has noticed as well. Very nice.
Yeah, both these runners are on top of things. I accidentally opened up a Sanctuary map the other night, and it felt pretty bad.
I did as well. It's just nice to have that extra security, even though you think you don't have it yet. It's only a few seconds, and it gives you a bit of peace of mind.
And so here we have our first routing divergence from the runners. Problems went up and checked the Lumberjack cave, saw a +5 bomb capacity expansion. And Cube finding out the tier 2 pull is 5 arrows. But Cube getting through Lost Woods just a little faster, but without that Lumberjack detour. So
yeah, and even though the Aghanim isn't required for the item, how does it feel to find Lamp and Cape in the first 7 minutes of the game?
It feels awful. It feels absolutely horrible. And it looked like the bush crab was dispensing bombs there. I didn't quite catch it, actually. Just a second. I think I had a technical mishap.
I think I have one as well.
Feasel is indicating that we will be back very shortly. Oh, and it looks like we are back. I don't know what anyone found on that ledge. Oh, it looks like there was a glove found at some level. It might have been...
The glove was in the back of Escape.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, I have no idea what was in the sort of the hole in Lost Woods in the Thieves' Hideout. And there was that 10 bombs that was...
And the silvers.
Yeah, Blind's Hut is loaded today.
He opened it in the wrong order. You would have liked to have that bomb back before the 10 bombs. And the last mill upgrade already. So we're gonna be surviving this siege probably.
Yeah, we're gonna be staring at a snazzy red penguin for at least an hour.
Oh, you never know. Could be a really fast seed.
World record seed incoming. Does that still count as a commentator curse?
Oh, I hope not.
Let's see what the well in Kakariko has. Yeah. Both of these runners so far doing pretty much the same early game routing, and that's pretty typical. Nothing has opened up bizarre locations to the runners just yet, and so they're just going to be making their way through doing as quick of a Kakariko sweep as thoroughly as they can, and they will be able to get Sick Kid because of that fairy in a bottle in the uncle's house.
Definitely a nice location to get out of the way. And there's the bow. Okay, so Eastern Palace is clearable. It is a pendant.
Yeah,
but
what a deal.
They'll be going in there anyway.
So
Nice chicken clip.
You saw a map check. I missed the map check. You said Eastern's a pendant. What's the other situation? What else do we know?
Desert and Hera were both normal crystals.
Yeah, the runners, only 10 arrows so far, but have silver arrows in the bow already. Only 10 minutes in, and Bombos from Sick Kid. So they have a very powerful weapon and a very powerful mail upgrade.
Yeah, it looks like offense nor defense will be a problem in the early stages of the game. I mean, they'll still need a sword at some point, but...
Yeah, sword could be a lot of different places, though. That's one of the things that makes the new version of the standard mode randomizer a little more like what was the open mode in the fall tournament, where you do still have to hunt for your sword. And Problem's going right in for the race, committing here. We'll see what Cube does here when he gets down this way.
I personally like doing the blind check here. It's Sphere 1 locations have a very high probability of having progression, and even getting money or something is... oh, well, there you have it. But like I was saying, even money makes you glad that you did it blind, because you don't want to go back and do the race game, but if you're there anyway, you'll pick it up.
That's fair. For me, it's really a matter of how I'm feeling, and so Problems, saving and quitting to Link, looks like he's headed south. I wasn't sure if we'd see him maybe go right for Eastern.
Yeah, he's probably just sticking to the routine first, which makes sense, but I think Eastern was definitely a good possibility as well. But he would have been more likely to do it if it was a crystal.
Yeah, I think if Eastern was a crystal, we would have seen a beeline for there, because that is, 6 items.
And that's our money problems gone.
Most of the way, at least. 300 puts a big dent in that Zora bill.
It's still not Zora, but we're getting there.
We'll see what the soggy item here at the dam is. And just 20 bucks.
Worth picking up, apparently.
No, not worth enduring all of the flopping fish lag and the extra time, the item fanfare. There's better ways to make 20 bucks in this seed, I bet.
You never know until you arrive at the Zora location, like, do I really want to kill all those mini Zoras for 20 bucks?
Yeah, which with Blue Boomerang, we do now have a way to investigate what the stun prize is. I haven't seen either runner do it.
No, I haven't seen it either yet. We might see it soon enough, but...
Yeah, here's the 20 bucks that you want to endure, and a Moon Pearl.
Those were a lot of red items.
Yeah, that was exceptionally red there in the mini Moldorm cave.
Look at all those magic drops on the cube side.
Yeah, note that mini Moldorm prize pack is chock full of full magic.
So Problems is checking Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah. That walk to the right was really interesting. It looked almost like a little bit of anti-pumping. But, it was an efficient way across the screen, so don't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
I like getting up to Ice Rod Cave, though.
Yeah, I think you just want to be as efficient as possible in the early game. So the Ice Rod Cave makes a lot of sense.
Oh, absolutely. And these runners are so safe already. There's Problems at 8 hearts already, both safety items, red mail. This is... Yeah, both our runners are hopefully geared up for quite a bit of survivability.
Yeah, once they get access to the Dark World, they won't have any issues in the first stages. Oh, did you see what was on the island there?
I did not. What was it?
It was a red cane.
more red items.
South Shore is filled with red.
I feel like the only thing that could have been red so far that wasn't was the fairy in a bottle.
Yeah.
Everything else, just straight red.
Oh, now that's a nice sequence break.
That is a huge sequence break. Oh man. So that's Dark World access that got broken. So that could be a break around Aghanim.
Yeah. It actually might be. I was wondering where would you expect the flippers to be in that case, but it might definitely be a sequence break.
Yeah, I mean, with what they've got now, it could have conceivably been like pod flippers.
Skullwoods and Mire are other pendants, and I saw at least Turtle Rock was the Fat Fairy Crystal, but I'm not sure about the other one.
Man, you're much better at catching these map checks than I am, because I saw it happen, but like by the time I processed what was going on, it was gone. Looks like Cube is also setting up for fake flippers, using the bomb to bomb himself to the edge pixel. A nice, safe alternative setup.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it's tricky to get the right ticks. Oh, well.
it was.
Wow, there's the flippers. Okay.
So yeah, that was a broken Dark World.
I guess it kind of depends on where the myths are, but it does seem like Aghanim was intended by the seed.
It's true. So yeah, we could have we are not guaranteed to have broken Dark World at this point, but it looks like both runners are going to be well on their way. Cube pretty much reading the seed logic the same way that Problems is so far.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of divergence here, though. Cube is going to the Waterfall Fairy Cave and onto Zora. He had to farm some rupees in the cave outside Ice Rod Cave to get to 500, but we'll see if it's worth it.
I like this call. I think it was probably predicated on him having that 300 rupee drop plus also getting Moon Pearl to be able to set up the water walk state here with Waterfall Fairy Cave. But we'll see what if it pays off.
And straight to pot we go.
Oh, I thought he was going to lose his fake flippers there for a second.
He's
narrowly missed that.
Some wild turns right there.
Some alternate routing strats from Cube, but makes it through.
So, something we need to take mind of is that if Aghanim was required and the hammer was locked behind the flippers, which were in Hype Cave, then we need to find the hookshot somewhere in either Pod, Catfish, or the Light World.
That's a very good observation, a very good point.
So I wonder if Problem has that in mind as well, or if he's just ecstatic enough that he had this sequence break right under his nose.
Yeah, I mean, in the and Ether at Zora, that could be a relevant detail.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think the Zora area is something you'll check very quickly at this point once the world is entirely open.
Yeah, with how quickly the seed's been handing progression out, I think if Ether's required, it might take Problems a little while to find his way up to Zora, so that could be a good advantage for Cube.
Definitely if the mirror isn't available anywhere quick, because then it would be a lot easier to check out Catfish into Zora, but right now you don't have a lot of incentive to go that way.
Yeah, I mean, other than when you're over here at Pod, when are you even going to be in that part of the Dark World? So I think we might see Catfish now, and it could be a while for Zora. But thankfully, with the addition of the Waterfall Fairy Caves, there is additional value in that map region, so...
Yeah, that is 4 items to be had. That's very true. So the Cube is checking Sahasrahla right now, so we'll see what's in that area of the world.
I wouldn't be shocked to see Hookshot or Mitts over here.
Yeah, I agree. Well, nothing in the back. So we'll see if he dips Eastern. I would assume so. Wouldn't be crazy.
And I see in chat discussion that you can or can't fake flipper to Zora Ledge, and well, you can't fake flipper there. You can store a water walk and set up to get over there, but it involves fake flippering the whole way through Zora's domain, and very few runners are going to want to do that, especially with how much the runners have already. I think just noting that Powder's there and coming back for it could be the way to go.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough thing to get. I also think there's a way to regain Water Walk by dying and then reviving with a fairy, but don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the runners are able to store a Water Walk with their current gear set, because the only way I know to do it's with boots, so... I don't know if they can do it right now, but it's...
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the technicalities on that one either.
It's an achievable thing. So far, not a lot from Pod or Eastern. Problems dodging those beetles. That was nicely done. Nice little dance.
Yeah, definitely. Those can be on you very quickly. Well, I don't know if you noticed earlier, but when Problems was doing the bow locked section, he ran out of bombs, then killed one of the jellies and got an 8 bomb drop. So he was quite lucky on that one.
Yeah, the item pools are being kind, and he's pretty close to the timer on this, trying to set up his hammer jump because he has the big key already.
There
it looks like there he is.
Yeah, you really want to get this one if you can find the big key early, because it saves having to death warp. And we do know he has a fairy in a bottle, so we'll see if he realizes that one and wanted to save it, or if he just wanted an easier route through Pod.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the mitts. So that guarantees that Agony was required.
Yeah, so this was an Aga required seed, but I doubt we're gonna see it at this point. So.
And I think I missed the mirror on Cube's side.
Yeah, Cube found the mirror right as Problems was finding the mitts. So this is going to be really interesting. I don't think that... Yeah, Cube hasn't yet been to Dark World, hasn't yet been to Hype Cave, and I think that's where the book was.
Yeah.
And that's also where the flippers are. So that's why Cube does not yet have either book or flippers.
So, even though Problems found out about the Aga break, I would say Cube has a small advantage here by actually getting the mirror, and that would make for a lot easier routing. And I'm not sure if Problems has any incentive to go into Eastern at this point.
Yeah, with how fast this opened up, like, how long does it take you to get to Pendant Eastern? I mean, now Cube's going to have the mirror, and that's going to let Cube go get. Once he has the flippers, he's going to be able to go right over and pick up that Cane of Samaria. Cube, interestingly, choosing to farm up the rupees here in the back of Eastern. Wonder what he's got in mind.
Probably the pond play. He didn't have 110, so...
Okay, yeah. So, looks like we're going to see him head for Pod.
Yeah, probably Hype Cave area. And
yeah, we know Mirror's...
picking up the cane, I guess. Oh, no, yeah, he can do that.
Yeah, Mirror's going to be required not only for Swamp Palace, but also to go get the Cane of Samaria, which of course they'll need for Mire and, well, not need for T-Rock, but probably used for T-Rock.
I mean, indirectly. It's necessary for the cane, obviously, but yeah. It's nice to be able to also check Mimic Cave.
Problem's getting turtled a little bit here, but makes it through. Thankfully, that red mail is putting in work. And Cube is about to get his... There's the book. And here come flippers. So we'll see if he goes right to get that Cane of Samaria.
It's right on the way, so I assume he will.
Yeah, I can just see it being something that, you know, you could easily forget in the stream of not processing all of the information, especially with how fast this seed is throwing it at you.
Yeah, for being 25 minutes into the seed, we have a lot. In fact, if we take a quick check now, knowing what we have found so far, we might need the boots. We definitely need both rods. And aside from that, we just need a hook shot, and then we're pretty much set.
Yeah, we need, like you said, hook shot, maybe boots. We need fire rod, ice rod.
Maybe Quake, I guess. But
yeah, Quake is maybe there. This is nice routing here from Cube. I like seeing this.
Yeah, he's been very efficient.
That's a very efficient play. And with the access to mirror, we're going to see a really nice Dark World, Light World, sort of overworld location sweep, I think, here after we see the same pod that we just saw from Problems. Cube going to go get his Titan's Mitt, and the world is his oyster, and he can get whatever he wants from it, pretty much, except for bootlock locations.
Yeah. I'm wondering what he will actually do afterwards, because he can go anywhere. There's the Village of Outcasts with Skullwoods area, there's like Dark World South Loop, there's Dark Death Mountain that he can get to, like just Death Mountain in general, because of the Mirror plus Hammer. I'm wondering what he'll do.
I probably want to postpone the Death Mountain play, just because not yet having Hookshot, there's a lot of opportunities to find that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
And Problems showing that his next line of play is to head over toward the Village Outcasts area, do Skullwoods, and presumably also Thieves Town if he's up in Green Pendant Skull.
Yeah, it seems like a logical continuation of his routing so far.
And so far, first item from Skull coming up a quarter heart, so nothing big. So if he finds both items, I think we're probably going to see him just leave and not bother on the green pendant. But
yeah, he can't get it yet because there's no fire rod. But
also that. So this is just a proactive sweep. Looks like he is going for this back location though. Going to do the mummy statue room, which will be something that'll be a little faster for Cube when he gets here, if he decides to do it because of the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, some people would call this the worst room in the game. I am slightly inclined to agree with that. It's a pretty rough room with the mummies and the hand wallmaster. The boomerang helps, but it does take a bit longer.
It's a top 10 worst for me for sure. I don't know if it's the worst, but unfortunately not panning out. Problem's just using that wallmaster to get back out quickly without having to repush that statue.
It's a virtual mirror. And he has been proceeding through the seat pretty smoothly. No real errors. Neither from Cube, by the way. They've both been playing really well.
I mean, I'm very impressed by the play from both runners so far. Both showing very nice execution and very nice routing.
Yeah, they've both had really good head-up plays.
So far, the big difference is that Cube was a little more thorough in the initial Light World sweep with early Dark World access that was broken, deducing that there was probably something more to get from the Light World, finding Ether and Mirror, and then saying that was going to be good enough for him before heading to Dark World.
Yeah, I really like that early Eastern play. Considering that Sphere 1 just has a high chance of progression, realizing that, just making sure that there was nothing or something there, and then proceeding into the Dark World afterwards. There was a nice Master Sword from Problems.
Yeah, so that's our second sword upgrade, so we are further on the way to checking off all of the potential things that could still be on pedestal.
Right, yeah, that of course is something to keep in mind as well. We do have the early book, so we'll see if Cube maybe checks that once he finds the fire rod and goes into Skullwoods.
Yeah, Cube just loves rupees, which, you know, they're on the ground. Someone left them there. May as well grab them. Oh, and he's leaving a lot of those ones behind. But I guess just having some extra money if he wants potions later for any reason, or goes for broke playing the chest game, I don't know. But he's going to be loaded.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have at least a buffer for the digging and chest game. I think he'll have enough for the rest of the seed by now.
Oh, absolutely. And there's that Titan's Mitt.
You'll be happy to find that one. Yeah, Problems just checking at least the first few chests in Thieves' Town, but I assume he'll finish it considering it's a crystal.
Yeah, Thieves is a crystal. They have the hammer. I think we're going to see a full clear Thieves from both runners.
Yeah, it's a Fat Fairy crystal as well. So, and they have enough equipment to get through it without any harm.
Yeah. We're already up to, is it 10 hearts and red mail and a fairy in a bottle?
Yeah.
This is a kind of ludicrous seed from a survivability standpoint and an items standpoint. Unfortunately for Problems, the one mobility item we've found so far in the mirror, he skipped on, so he's still needing, you know, mobility in terms of boots, mirror, flute, but otherwise the seed is pretty well open.
Yeah, and the seed being that open is probably the big problem for him, considering he'll have so little incentive to go to Eastern, and it locks quite an important item in the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, Mirror has to be pretty high on his list of things that he wants to see here in Thieves' Town, and unfortunately we know it's not going to be. And I think, let's see, I saw there was at least a bomb upgrade earlier. I think that's the third thing we've found from Thieves so far, and so far it's been pretty blank.
I think so, yeah. I think he found 10 arrows, 3 bombs, and a bomb upgrade. Not exactly in that order, but
yeah. And a really interesting Turtles strat from Cube there, just hammering down the top ones, killing the top ones, and then when killing the sort of the middle 2 flipped ones, flipping the bottom turtles and killing them with the hammer.
Doesn't sound like a bad strat.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't think you're going to get the RNG or just be there in time to get the top 2, I like that as a backup to the sort of more traditional turtle room strats.
Cube making quick work of Helma. Very nice fight. That's where those early silvers come in handy.
Yeah, I like seeing the runners utilizing their early silvers. And there it is, yeah, Thieves' Town. Unfortunately, kind of blank, although to be fair, there's not a whole heck of a lot the runners could find at this point. We kind of know where almost everything is.
I think we were stealing everything before the thieves.
Yeah, and Cube really getting mileage out of those silvers, deciding to go to work on some of these ropas.
Taking vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, with red mail they don't hit that hard, but may as well keep those upcoming sword beams alive for the Master Sword he might be finding here soon over in Village Outcasts. And so far looks like we're on script from Problems.
He definitely went off script. He got a spin instead of poking him. That kind of ruined the start, but he should still be fine. Getting dragged along with the head a little bit, but... There's very little worries to have once you have this many hearts in red mill.
Yeah. Blind was looking like they're in the right sort of lateral position or horizontal position in the room. And I didn't see what direction Blind was going. Stopped. It looked like almost the right position for the phase 1. But yeah.
It was in the correct position. He just released the button a bit too soon after hitting him with the first hit. So he released the spin instead of just releasing the poke.
Yeah. And looks like Cube is headed for Catfish.
He's clearing a lot, and it's worked out for him so far. So
yeah, this is a very interesting choice. I mean, maybe Cube feels like he needs to get lucky and find something. I know if my round 2 pairing was problems, I might be making a few gambles I wouldn't normally make, and so that might be what's going on here.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility. I wouldn't feel too bad considering the sequence break for the hammer and finding the mirror in Eastern. I think I would feel pretty good after finding both of those, but he's doing well so far. And chat's pointing out that he can also get the powder from Zoralex right now, so it makes sense that he would go for that right now.
Yeah, but it looks like he's saving quitting out.
That's slightly unexpected.
Leaving that map tucked away there, but yeah, with just the Catfish check being there, I guess the point of when will there be a better time? Well, when going to get powder? It might just be that he just forgot about being able to go get powder.
Yeah, it's very possible that he just blanked on it.
I think most runners, if you present them with the option of, hey, do you want to go get powder while you're at Catfish, they would have said, yes, absolutely. But it's just something that can slip your mind.
Yeah. So Cube going into the Village of Outcasts area as well, while Problems is doing the rest of the South Loop.
Yeah, it looks like Cube is going to be following Problems' footsteps here. Unfortunately, we're not going to see anything that Problems didn't get from Cube on this pass, except for the South Grove mirror location. I guess that's an option, and we might just maybe see some lumberjack, or not lumberjack, hammersmiths.
Oh, this is a very typical play from ProblemsIRL coming up right here. So anyone who has watched Problems for a while will know that he has a huge love for the early Ice Palace play. Oh, he's not actually going for it. I thought he would, considering he has mids, flippers, hammer, and a way to get through Ice Palace, but I got debated here.
Yeah, maybe he's going to pick up a green potion or something from the witch to then go back for Ice Palace.
I would not be surprised if he goes in there at some point, but he's going for the Zora play, which makes sense. He's going to get his Ether, maybe the powder as well.
Yeah, he's getting up to Zora a lot faster than I thought he would.
Yeah, he's...
I mean, I guess Village of Outcasts area really didn't turn up a whole lot, and without Hookshot yet, there's not a ton of incentive for Death Mountain, but...
He can't even get to the east side yet, that's the interesting part. He doesn't have to mirror nor the Hookshot.
Mm-hmm. There's that Ether Medallion.
So in that case, we might actually get him to dip into Eastern a lot earlier than we expected, to find the mirror and open up a lot more of the world.
Yeah, I see a comment in chat. Just when you go to Village of Outcasts in Skull Woods and you come up so blank, that he might be, feeling some of the pressure from that sequence break of getting around Aga and getting into early Dark World, he might be going back and prioritizing some of those Sphere 1 locations in Light World.
That's possible, but I think he has in his mind that he already completed that, because all he needed, he got everything for Aga, so he could have gotten Aga, then gone into Pod for the mids, then gone into Dark World, find the flippers, and then gotten the hammer. So that cycle should be complete. The mirror doesn't really get involved in that situation. But I think he's just crossing off high density locations at this moment, which is just very reasonable.
Yeah. Maximizing items per time is definitely a good way to approach, especially overworld clearing.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, yeah, Mirror is buried away in Eastern Palace, which is a pendant dungeon. And so the big question right now is how long is it going to take Problems to get back and find that? That's the big advantage that Cube has right now in this race.
Yeah, the mirror leading to the King of Samaria in Big Hylia is pretty relevant as well. And there's a sword on top of Spectacle Rock. So the mirror is locking quite a few useful items.
Yeah, I mean, that one's also... The sword, behind Mirror, but not critical. And alternatively, because they do have the hammer, hookshot's a viable way to find their way over there, so it doesn't have to be Mirror to get there in Problem's mind.
You do need the mirror to get that sword.
Oh yeah, for the sword for sure.
But not for Eastern Death Mountain. That's definitely true.
Yeah, Problem's cashing in that obnoxious fairy here for Spike Cave.
Nice long invincibility frames. Saving a bit of his magic right there. Cube heading into Thief's Town to full clear that one.
And yeah, nothing in the Spike Cave, so... Yeah, the only thing that Cube has really found behind Mirror is the Cane of Samaria that Problems knows about, and unfortunately both of those items could be pretty deep in the logic, sort of in Problems' estimation.
Oh, he's going to... There's a palace right now, it seems like. That's interesting. I guess he's checking if he needs the boots. It's quite a walk to get there.
Yeah, this is a hike.
There's at least 2 or 3 items that he can get with the Desert Latch and Agina combined, but it's quite a risk.
Yeah, and this is another area where it's going to be helpful to have the mirror and ideally the flute for runners trying to come through and sort of do a high density check in this area. But without boots and without mirror, it's a pretty sparse area.
Yeah, definitely. Finding the other boomerang.
We've completed our set of boomerangs, but nothing so far. I imagine we'll see him, go check the ledge, go into desert, and do as much of desert as can be done with the current loadout.
Yeah, that seems like something he'll do. And afterwards, it kind of depends on whether he'll go into Eastern or try to clear Ice Palace.
And you've indicated he has a bit of a predilection and a bias toward Ice Palace, so... I think that would be interesting to see, but, fingers crossed that he gets over to Eastern sooner than we might think.
Yeah, I think the current race is between whether he'll run out of locations before he finds Mirror, or he finds the hookshot. Because the hookshot will open up a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, so far the lack of hookshot and lack of flute is, flute is keeping him grounded, but also reducing some location viability. But really it's lack of hookshot for going over and doing a lot of the East Death Mountain stuff, and Dark Death Mountain that is actually kind of playing in Problem's favor, pushing him toward Eastern as some of these locations start to dry up.
Yeah, at some point that will be the last high density location left. But it does seem like he took a quick red potion in the shop and is heading towards his beloved Ice Palace.
Well, let's see what Ice Palace has in store.
And we might be criticizing him, or not really criticizing, but we might be saying that he's not going to Eastern, but it makes sense because it's a pendant and you would want to avoid those in favor of just full clearing crystal dungeons if you can. So his routing makes sense, even though it's perhaps not working out for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There was no criticism. It's just we acknowledge that he needs to get over to Eastern to progress the seed at some point. That's one of the sort of lower tier in terms of expectation value, but higher in terms of realized yield for this seed. And so that mismatch really just makes that the focus point of when will he get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Cube has cleared Thieves Town, is on to the blind fight. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, he's getting the clean phase 1.
Yep. So far, all is well.
See, he gets a spin as well. It's not as bad. It's like off the rails less quickly, but...
Yeah, and realistically, if you maintain the script through phase 2, you can kind of sight read phase 3, and it's usually not too bad.
Yeah, once you get to phase 3, it's okay to wing it.
Especially with 11 hearts and red mail, like, things are going fine.
Look at all those 8 bomb drops. This seed is just pouring with value.
Bombs and full magic, and hopefully we'll see Problems pick up one of those full magics here soon.
Nice setup for the Ice Palace bomb jump. Wanted to menu to the hookshot there, I think.
See, I was thinking he wanted to do the NMG menu to hammer.
Yeah, it doesn't do much unless you have the boots.
Well, hammer's still really useful if you're doing Lonely Firebar.
Yeah, I assume he'll be going to the north side first to do the bomb jump, where you usually need the hookshot.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Well, he's proving me wrong all the time, apparently.
Well, we both got a little tricked, but I think he's gonna go down, see if there's the small key in this chest, bomb jump across, if not, and then kind of work from there. And it is the small key, so yep, looks like we're headed back up through Lonely Firebar. Head over for the 3 chests over here on the other side.
So I think I might be wrong on this, but I think this means that Ice Palace is not necessarily hookshot locked. That's interesting.
Yes, I think if my understanding of the logic is right, then I think that's correct. Interesting choice to kind of handle this room in this order.
Yeah, I think you forgot to pull the statue. Yeah. So we haven't seen the dwarf side quest from Problems yet, right? Because of the no mirror?
Yeah. Lack of mirror, he didn't want to save and quit to do that. So this is a new location for us here on Cube's side. So we'll see if the Dwarven Breadsmiths and maybe the Purple Chest, if Cube decides he wants to do that, turn out anything for this seed.
Just a bunch of money. Pay 10 rupees, get 300 back. That's a good investment. I assume that Cube will do the Purple Chest as well, because that will include the whole side, the South Loop, including K45, like the South Grove.
Yeah.
It's really efficient. And then he can continue all the way towards Bombos and Desert Palace if he wants to.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to be missed here, I don't think... yeah, he did the digging game already, before getting the dwarf. And so I think the only thing that's going to be missed here is the shovel.
Yeah, we haven't located that one yet.
Well, there we go. There is the shovel at the south of Grove Mirror spot for cubes, so this will be a clean sweep of this part of the map.
That's very nice.
That's, yeah, super helpful. Even if it doesn't turn out to be anything, just having those boxes checked.
This also immediately shows why people usually check south of Grove before doing the Stumpy, because you can route the... Just in case you get the shovel in K45, you can immediately mirror there and grab the shovel item.
Oh yeah, you always do south of Grove before Stump Kit if you don't have the shovel yet, just on that 1 in X off chance that the shovel's waiting there for you, and of course here's the one time it pays out. But yeah, the only thing that could have made this a little cleaner is if Cube had remembered to grab that powder oat while over at Catfish.
Yeah, otherwise his routing has been really efficient. No complaints.
Yeah, interesting choice of where to mirror here from Cube. I wonder what he's setting up with this. I assume it's to get over to Bombos, but I don't know if this is more efficient or not.
Not necessarily, but
I guess you do have the iframes from the mirror to get through those ropas, so that's kind of convenient.
Yeah, definitely. So another new location here, Bombos tablet.
Hookshot? Is it? Ah.
So it does seem more and more like the eventual progression will be on Death Mountain.
Yeah, I guess if the hookshot's over in East Death Mountain behind Mirror, that works out to be seeming good for Problems.
Yeah, you'll probably have to clear a lot before he eventually comes over to Eastern.
Speaking of Problems, these puffs have gotten loose, and Master Sword doesn't do a ton, so...
Yeah, it takes quite a few hits to get rid of Cold Star with the Master Sword. It's a rough battle.
Yeah.
He already used his Red Potion earlier in Ice Palace, so he doesn't have a lot of safeties yet left.
So far, he's navigating it pretty deftly, but ooh, missing that spin. Those puffs were chasing him down. But
yeah. What you want to remember is to always move around. Don't let those icicles hit you.
Yeah, you want to stay moving in this fight, and there he makes it through. A little bit of a sweat for that small key, but most importantly that crystal, and one more thing off the map before finding the way back over to Eastern.
Yeah, it wasn't huge time loss, considering you needed to do it anyway. Full clearing it is not excellent, but it's expected. And it's yeah. At least he finished it. That's nice to cross off the list, definitely.
So now where does Problems head? Let's bless RNG Eastern here. It looks like we're headed for Eastern.
Yeah. I think he's finally making his way over there. I mean, there was not a whole lot left he could do, I think. I'm not sure if he ever turned into powder yet, but otherwise he didn't have... He had the Smith route, I guess. But you really don't want to do that without the mirror.
Yeah. Given 6 item locations over here, because he's not been to Sahasrara's closet versus the value of a save and quit Smith sequence, this seems like... It seems like an obvious play, but then in the scope of overall routing, who knows when you actually get there.
And Cube is making his first trip up to Death Mountain, and we'll probably go and do Hera into East Death Mountain. And I think we'll actually be converging there relatively soon.
Yeah, so There's a lot of sort of remaining locations from Cube, or from Problems that Cube has checked that Problems hasn't, but nothing has really turned up. Only the mirror, which Problems stands to find here very soon, and the Cane of Samaria that Problems knows where it is so he can go get it.
Yeah, and all the other locations were basically mirror locked, so it might take a little bit if he decides to check those before heading up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, if he pursues the mirror overworld locations, but based on how he's been routing the seed in terms of item density, it doesn't seem like he'll get back to that loop, which will play well for him.
Yeah, I agree. And considering Problems already cleared Ice Palace, he's actually, I wouldn't say he's behind at all at this point.
No, getting back over to Eastern here, I'd say, given having finished Ice Palace, that Problems may have, a small lead at this point. It depends how deeply buried those last couple items are and how much of that overworld Problems actually ends up needing to clean up.
Yeah, like if Ice Palace can be go-moded by Cube, then he loses a bit of the advantage he has. But as long as Problems doesn't have to clear too much of or doesn't decide to clear too much of the overworld, then he is probably in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Problems picking up his mirror here. Not even a pause. I feel like he knew it probably was here.
Yeah, he probably had to assume at this point. So Cube going into new territory at this point.
Yeah, 2 items here in Hera. Thankfully, we didn't need to do downstairs in the basement yet, so we'll see if we end up needing to. But also, so far, no finds in Hera, so...
Just a little patience. So I think item-wise, we haven't really progressed any more than the last time we checked. We still need both rods, hookshot, and the boots at this point.
Yeah, right now it's the 2 rods and hookshot are, absolutely logic required, and then boots and Quake are kind of in the space of maybes.
I think both Problems and Cube did check Desert Palace, and they haven't cleared it, so I assume it's boots locked.
That's a good point. So yeah, boots also on that list of required items.
And Problems is just straight heading up the mountain. Very reasonable choice, considering the amount of items that can be had here.
Yeah, interesting to not get that Cane of Samaria.
That's a very good point. I would assume that's a logical decision to make right after. Especially since you might want to dip the Turtle Rock once you head into the Dark World here. Must have slipped his mind, just like the powder on Cube side.
Mm-hmm. That's my best guess. Yeah, both runners are going to be in Hera. Cube's going to be hanging out in the basement here. I don't think we'll see Problems go down there for that high 5. But at least they're in the same space, so we've kind of reconverged. Although with definitely different qualities from both runners.
Yeah, if Cube knocked downwards there, I think Problems would have heard it.
And I don't think Cube is in one of the bad spots. I think he's safe here.
I hope he's not in a bad spot, because that definitely feels bad.
Yeah. I saw a racer end up in the bad spot the other day, and it feels so bad.
It's devastating. Getting all those tiles is... oh no.
Oh, are we...
Yeah, you jinxed it.
Oh, He was already there before I said anything. There is no jinx.
He could have probably used the Cane of Samaria to throw a block downwards and explode it to release the pegs again. I'm not sure if...
I didn't even think of Cane there, but that seems like the way to go. And losing sword beams, please just wait it out. Get to a very safe spot. Okay, there. In peg jail. Peg jail's a safe spot.
It requires a bit more effort, but it's better than getting stuck again. But yeah, that's a solid 40 seconds that you lose there, which really feels bad.
Yeah. Hopefully that's, not the difference here, but we'll see how things play out.
Yeah, considering how close your race has been so far, it's for us, it's pretty rough to see something like that happen.
Mm-hmm. And just the big 20 in the basement. So, yeah, Heron not paying out, but another crystal. So now both Cube and Problems have that crystal down.
Yeah, it's still neck by neck. Cube just a few minutes ahead now in this area, but still behind the Ice Palace.
Okay. Cube also has done Thieves Town, so the runners are tied up, with the exception of Problems having done Ice Palace already.
Yeah, it's basically Ice Palace versus Mirror Spots at this point.
That's definitely a good way to cast it. Problems does have that powder, though.
Right, I don't think he checked that yet, has he?
No, I don't think we've cashed the powder in for Magic Bat yet, because he was not back in the Village of Outcasts area since getting it.
Yeah.
Or since getting that and Mirror, but... Okay, here is the moment we've been waiting for with East Death Mountain on Cube's stream, and Problem's going to be right behind. We'll see what's been waiting for the runners over here.
Yeah, we still have quite a few items to go here.
And we can keep in mind that Cube could have been over here quite a while ago, and there's a level 4 sword.
I don't think they'll be picking that up. I think they're both experienced enough to be able to complete the game with just a tempered sword. Especially if you already have silvers.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see either runner go for that. And Light World Death Mountain not paying out. Or Light World East Death Mountain. Really Light World Death Mountain in general.
Yeah, not many goodies. I guess there were both swords on there, but aside from that...
Yeah, shrug. Couple swords. You had Master Sword already.
Real men do Master Sword silverless.
If they must.
Nobody likes doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say in chat that you do, but you would be lying.
I like doing Master Sword silverless more than I like having to go find other stuff.
Yeah. If you're in Go mode and you have Master Sword, you'll check some stuff on the way, but...
Yeah.
So the Sora was required.
Yeah. That is a T-Rock. We'll see if Cube's going to dive.
I think it's a free dip. It takes a little bit to get that one chest. But if it's a key, and it leads to a key, and it leads to some items, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
And there's the hook shot.
Okay,
so
yeah, now
Swamp
there's
is the next.
And Cube doing these not in the order that he wants to. Okay, there we go. He'll be back in just...
Yeah, this is very nice. Must feel good to be able to just complete the mountain in one go.
Oh yeah. Hookshot being up here, not surprised at all. But that is one of the things, not having had this item is one of the things that kept the runners from coming up here, especially Cube. or disincentivized coming up here.
Yeah.
We'll see if Hookshot Cave is going to pay out.
Oh, those. And the flute. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. That.
Now we're back to having about a dozen options.
Yeah, now there's
Problems
a
is
lot.
for the butter sword.
It's interesting. Do you think... I mean, with silvers, it's not a vitreous decision. Huh. I
I guess
wonder
just
why you get level 4 sword here.
I guess just having safety of having the double one cycle on Ganon.
Yeah, it does make the 1-in-1 much easier. So probably worth the time from that perspective.
Where is Problems going?
And Cube headed over to get his 10 arrows here from Spike Cave. Not going to be what he's looking for, but it is going to be another location off the map.
It's all about peace of mind. Oh, Problems hasn't done the live world part yet. I was wondering how it was suddenly ahead on the checks here.
Yeah, he had a really interesting but efficient Dark Mountain or Death Mountain light and dark routing, and Cube looking to immediately cash those boots in for some locations here in King's Tomb and probably Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, I'm probably moving over, activating the flute, going to the desert area, clearing that,
Yeah.
clearing Desert Palace, maybe dipping into Mire. I'm not sure about that one though.
I think you at least do the Mire Overworld stuff, Checkerboard and the Shed. But do you dive Mire? I'm probably not the person to ask. I'm pretty against diving Mire, but there are a lot of people who really favor it, so
I
we'll see.
usually wouldn't mind it, but you still have the entirety of Swamp Palace to go into as well.
Yeah, with mirror hookshot and flippers, Swamp is absolutely now an option, and that's a crystal and 6 items, so
Yeah, it's not the 6 items that you want to find. You'd rather go mode it if you can, but
yeah. It is an item dense location. It takes a while. So they're a lot like Mire, there's really conflicting opinions on Swamp, but most people just want to avoid doing, especially left side.
yeah, if you can avoid left side, it would be great. But with Ice Rod still missing, it just feels like a really big risk to me.
Looking for Ice Rod and Fire Rod. I want to check the Mire overworld here and do Desert, and then if that bricks, I want to go right to Swamp. I want to flute to 4 and full clear, and just get those items checked off.
Yeah, agreed. Problem still needs to pick up his cane, so I wonder when he'll get around to doing that.
And we'll see if Problems... No, Problems is not going to go cash in that powder.
Problem's doing... Or is he picking up the cane right now? I would be surprised if he does Swamp before Desert.
Yeah, I think this might be Cane, and then Desert plus Mire. And he might be prepared to go through Vitreous if he must to find the second item. I don't know. That seems...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're headed right for Swamp. He may feel a little behind at this point with how deep Mirror was on him.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And so he might just say, other people don't want to do Swamp, therefore I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in hearing about his decision progress or process right here.
Yeah, this is... it's another juncture where the runners had a lot of stuff open up to them. And coming over here, rather than going and finishing desert, it's interesting.
This is definitely one of the decisions that will probably make or break this race, then. Two huge dense locations that may or may not have what you want.
Yeah, if it's Ice Rod and Fire Rod split between them, then I think that we kind of end up at parity. But if we find a trove at one place, or like if we find Fire Rod and it leads us to back of Skullwoods.
If the Fire Rod is in swamp and the Ice Rod is in desert, it could be very different than the other way around. The Fire Rod can lead to a lot more locations, so it might be...
Yeah.
At least it's not divided between a pendant and a crystal. That would make it a lot rougher.
Could you explain what you mean by that?
So if the Ice Rod is on the left side of swamp, and Problems does find it, but Cube finds the Fire Rod in desert, you'll be less incentivized to check left side of swamp when he goes through swamp.
Okay, yes.
And it does look like Problems is deciding to go for the left side immediately.
And I think if you're doing swamp at this point, you are committing to a full clear and just taking all of the items.
Yeah, it does add to your theory that he might feel behind at this point because of the mirror. Probably hoping that Cube wouldn't do left side in this case.
Yeah, with how open this seed has been, there's definitely something to be said for sort of working your way around left side swamp because of how few items per time you get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to mention, because I don't know if it's a meme at this point or if there's genuine distress, but the tracker is experiencing some technical issues right now. We've found pretty much everything for both runners. The big differences being that Problems has the powder, whereas Cube knows it's on the Zora ledge. And otherwise, I think we're pretty much all tied up. Runners still need Fire Rod and Ice Rod. Boots were acquired. I believe Meyer is known to be Quake, so Quake may or may not be relevant. But otherwise, it's just the rods.
Yeah, Problems has cleared Ice Palace, so that's one big difference. But Cube has cleared a few more overworld spots that were locked behind the mirror. And Swamp not paying off yet.
Yeah. Cube also has Canis Samaria. Problems does not yet. Problems knows that it is on the Lake Hylia Island.
So going back about 5 minutes, we saw Cube on Death Mountain not entering Turtle Rock without either of the rods. Would you have gone in there, knowing that there might have been like one item locked behind a key or something?
I would have checked that first chest. Yeah, I would have gone in without Fire Rod. There's no way I'm going to try and like hover Torch Room or something to try and break the right side, but I would check that first chest.
Yeah, I was personally kind of surprised that he didn't actually go for that.
It is a big investment for one location, but just knowing that it isn't a key is really, really valuable.
Yeah, I agree. So both in Swamp Palace right now. Problems heading up to Argus, while Cube is just entering the main hub. Bosses really should not be an issue at this point. Yeah, Problems making quick work of the buffs.
Yeah, the loadout for the runner is now strictly better than what they would have in an NMG run. They've got the red mail, as much sword upgrade as they want to bother to get. This is... The testing part about this seed is not the boss fights.
No, and their general execution and movement has been just fine. It's mostly routing decisions at this point.
Yeah, so
Swamp
that's
being completely empty, so
yeah.
There's only a few locations left that could potentially have anything.
Looks like we're headed for that red cane now on Problems screen, so that'll be good. We'll see what he chooses to do with it. But yeah, we've seen Tower of Hera and Swamp done for both runners. Ice Palace is still... Problems is ahead in Ice Palace, but Ice Palace was empty. And so, as much as I was talking down on dipping Pendant Mire, I want to get over to Mire as soon as I can at this point.
You said Quake was the required medallion, right? So that might be a problem right there.
Yeah. That powder location is looming large in my mind.
Yeah, I wonder when he'll get around to doing that, because there's only a few locations left that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, chat is praying for the pedestal ice rod, which we haven't seen the ped check yet, so...
Yeah, there's not really been a reason yet, because we still don't have the fire rod.
Yeah, it's not yet an accessible thing because of that green pendant. But yeah, once Mire and Desert are blank, I think it's only a matter of minutes until we see the T-Rock play. I think we're looking at a first chest key.
A key into
Yeah.
big key. We
Yeah,
might even be able to get all the way to Laser Bridge.
there's a key into Laser Bridge, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Of course, it will be really sad if you go all the way to Laser Bridge, find the ice rod there, and the fire rod decided to hang out with the bat for a while.
That would be just savage. That would feel really bad.
Yeah, at this point you will probably decide to do as much overworld as you can before just committing to Turtle Rock. Cube is going back in to Swamp to go for the left side, so Problems is getting a small advantage there, doing everything at once, saving a little bit of time.
Yeah, doing the left side just slightly more efficient to do it the first time through. Cube not losing a ton of time, but it still is costing a bit of time to do it this way.
Yeah, again, when the racers are so close, every little decision matters.
And almost getting that zero cycle on Landmo, but these Landmo are just not playing well with that silver arrow, so Problems kind of audibling to gold sword strats.
And that's one advantage of having a gold sword, it's just 2 swings instead of 2 spins. At least land models are not as terrible as they are in the vanilla game.
Yeah, Landmo's in NMG, that probably the worst boss fight. Definitely the most RNG dependent for when you have to do it in the run.
Not counting Aganim.
The most controllable or manageable RNG, not controllable RNG.
Yeah, definitely.
In the sense that when I screw up Landmo, I feel like it's my fault. When Aga throws 8 blue balls, I'm just like, that's this run. Hit the reset button and move on.
Better luck next time. Right,
Exactly.
so last few checks of the desert area before moving on.
Yeah, and Cube finding out that Swamp was just empty.
It does look like Problems is going to the mire area now. Oh, it was Bombos. Okay, so Quick was
okay.
not. So no Quick.
Yeah, so I feel like I was debated by chat there. I should not have listened.
Always blame chat.
Rip me. Yeah, chat, Dan's game. What are you guys doing? Yelling about trackers and not reminding me that it was Bombos. No, it was my fault.
So Cube heading into ice, so he'll probably be full clearing that as well. And
Yeah.
now it's Problems heading into new territory.
Yeah, this is the first sighting of Mire, or first exploration of Mire.
This room is definitely a lot worse without the fire rod.
Yeah, I mean, with sword beams, it's worse, but it's not as bad as it could be. But then losing sword beams at the top, it just becomes like, okay, well, I'm going to 3-cycle Mire 2 now. And I'm gonna kind of feel sad and going immediately this way. So not going for the bridge chest right away. Hopefully we see Problems grab that here on his trip. Okay, there we go.
Okay, you didn't forget about it.
Yeah, I've forgotten that chest. I got through an entire seed when I was derusting Rando and was like, I feel like I only got one thing in Mire. I must have miscounted. I finished the seed. And then I remembered the bridge chest like 30 minutes after finishing. And I was like, oh, that could have been very terrible.
Yeah.
So good to see that get remembered.
It could have happened considering Problems mainly ran Key Sanity for a long time, and the routing in Mire between Key Sanity and just normal, like standard or open, is quite different. There's something nice to pick up, but
once he finds the rods, he's going to be able to shoot them a lot, so Trinex is going to be easier, but that's not what he's looking for. Not with 3 bottles and 700 rupees. There's really no magic concerns. That's not quite the pixel Cube wanted, unfortunately, for this bomb jump. But, oh, no, almost. Not quite. A little
Once you start wiggling around, it's so hard to get the right pixel.
Oh, yeah. Come on. There you go. There it is. First try bomb jump.
Very nice.
Easy every time.
Not even close.
And going for the bottom skull strats. I like it.
Torches in Mire are definitely a lot worse without the fire rod.
Oh yeah. But Problems does them pretty much optimally for lamp strats. And we'll see how Cube chooses to route the back part of Ice Palace here.
It looks like he's going to do them in the same order as Problems did, despite having the hook shot.
Well, I mean, yeah, he could have gone kind of backdoor, dropping down. Ooh, there on the vanilla big key chest in Mire. See what Problems just got?
That was a nice rod.
That's what it looked like to me.
That's not the rod I was expecting to find first.
No.
That's really good. This could be huge, depending on what's...
Are we getting the pet check right away?
I mean, the pet is out of the question now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Fire rod is...
yeah, that wasn't Fire Rod. Yeah, so where's Problems going?
I have no idea. I mean, Oh, he's doing mirror locations. We haven't seen Graveyard Ledge yet, have we?
We have. It was blank.
Oh, Graveyard Ledge was playing. Oh,
Yeah.
right, because we did that.
Yeah, Cube
together.
did the north route, skipping the boots locations, but he did do mirror ledge.
Oh, right, he hasn't done the Smith stuff yet.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get to see what powder is here in a second, so that'll be exciting. Meanwhile, Cube is quickly finding out just how blank Ice Palace is, but at the bottom there is another crystal, so that's good.
Yeah, this is going to be really close if Cube also decides to do Myro.
It depends where this fire rod is.
Yeah, that's the entire crutch right now.
Like if it's first chest T-Rock or if it's powder fire rod, we might not see Meyer for a while from Cube.
If he decides to head there, yeah. I mean, he doesn't even have the powder yet, so...
Yeah. Well, here's our answer.
Okay.
There.
What even is left?
First chest T-Rock.
It has to be.
Is it like it could be key or fire rod? First chest T-Rock.
It would be beautiful if you had to go all the way to Laser Bridge, get the fire rod, then go all the way to the start and get the rest of the keys.
Oh my god. That would be kind of horrible, but that's the sort of thing I sign up for, so.
Exactly. This seed has been quite a beauty anyway.
Yeah, it started off very open, and there's always that one item. In this case, it was both rods.
We've had very interesting routing. We've had the Ganon skip. We've had a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, both runners skipping Aghanim through a fake flipper. Hobo had hammer. So that was really, really big. I wonder if either runner is really, even considering that as a potential advantage at this point.
Yeah, the Hobo having hammer, I think sequence breaking Hobo has been back to being the trend lately. So I would not be surprised if they both expect the other to have done it.
Wow. And we had matching second dig blue rupees.
There goes the potential advantage.
Yeah, so both runners getting it on the second try. Don't see that too often.
Problems with the very accurate dashes after hookshotting.
Yeah, that's always good to see. And oh no,
I think the tracker is.
I think we might be
now.
We might be dead.
Yeah, another refresh.
Okay, yeah, their Feasel is saying that tracker should be all fixed up. It looks like, yeah, Problems turned in his purple chest. We missed a little bit of overworld. And Cube looks like he's going to go get that powder. So right now, Problems is basically a Meyer to vanilla big key location ahead.
Yeah,
and a bat check.
Meyer and Bat versus Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, there's a couple overworld locations, but Problems is quickly wiping them out. Looks like, I don't know if, I think he did King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks already, so I think it's Graveyard Ledge versus Meyer at this point.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Bat.
that and Bat. So it's really close. Problems definitely has a small advantage here, but execution and maybe a fall or a death, anywhere unlucky, could definitely tip the skills at this case.
Yeah, it's still a very close one. And let's see where Cube is going to head. I think we're going to see... Okay, we're seeing a B release. He's going to snag some potions. That's where all those extra rupees are going.
This is secretly a lag reduction technique. because having more rupees means that the game has more trouble calculating everything. It causes a little bit of lag. I'm actually serious here.
Yeah, I don't think, well, someone could make that up. I'm not that creative.
What is Problems checking now?
Cube doesn't know where the ice rod is, so this might be the ped check for chat. This looks like where we're headed. So yeah, get those ped hypes in chat. We know it's dead, but now we're gonna know what it is.
Ah.
Yeah, every time. I don't know. Did you see the race yesterday where there was a ped bow? I'm not gonna say which race because I want to avoid spoilers, but
I have not.
We had a ped bow yesterday.
There have been some crazy seats this tournament. There have been 2 bows in Tile Room in GT. There's been hook shot in GT. Oh no,
Oh.
Dead Rock.
I
No.
was getting basically like a pretty tight pixel window on that Dead Rock. Not the way he wanted that to work out, but that Dead Rock being a block champion. And
Not seeing the swag strat where you just walk over the top and then go through the rocks with spin speed.
yeah, the Waffle House drive-through is so difficult. It's really cool looking.
It's definitely worth it.
Is it though?
It saves a whole second. You have to try it. No, but seriously, it's kind of risky. And
I was gonna say, I think you just
exactly.
convinced me to go for it in my next NMG race. You know, what have I got to lose?
A couple more seconds, probably.
Exactly. But
But
yeah,
if it does
here
work,
comes that
it's
T-Rock
okay.
play. I am excited, and Cube is going into Mire, so we'll see once Cube gets Ice Rod what he chooses to do.
I don't think he has anything left to check either, aside from Turtle Rock at this point. So he'll be following Problems as soon as he can. But we'll be seeing soon enough if it is actually the first chest, or a bit deeper, or if we actually missed something.
I can't think of anything that we have missed at this point. I think we've pretty much checked all of the things, so there could be a small key. For the runner's sake, I'm going to like hope that it's just map and compass over on that in the sort of the torch hookshot room.
Yeah, it would be pretty rude otherwise if they were forced to go all the way and then back. Look at that Brahmin block blast.
It was a little too close to the center, but it looked like he was going for a Brahmin block blast. And there it is.
There it is.
Oh my gosh.
And 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 33 seconds in, we have entered Go mode.
There it is. That is Go mode.
This seat has been ludicrously fast.
Yeah,
considering we had to full clear everything.
Yeah. Especially considering how late Problems found any of the mobility items. Like, if we watch on the credits where those times are, I don't think he had Mirror before 45 minutes.
No, I agree. He has been routing really well.
So yeah,
considering the lack of items he had.
Yeah, for lack of mobility, like, he has been tearing through stuff, but that is Go mode. So now we get to see how quickly he can get through Turtle Rock and Ganon's Tower. Also, I mean, we kind of knew because Skullwoods is the green pendant, but Rip Sahasrara, we're not going to be seeing the green pendant today.
Nobody likes him anyway.
I kind of do.
Okay, fine.
He's got a cowboy hat.
He can be nice. I must say that I'm very happy that both runners decided to find Ice Rod before the Fire Rod.
Oh yeah, if they'd gone T-Rock, which, full disclosure, I totally would have done. I would totally have gotten my butt all the way down to Laser Bridge, been digging for that Ice Rod, and would have had to mirror out and would have lost like 6 minutes to either of these guys.
Yeah. And then I would have gone into Skullwoods, cleared that, go to Sahasrara, got another useless item. And it will be a while before I would have entered Mystery Mire.
Yeah, but there, Cube getting his Ice Rod, but continuing.
He doesn't have his half magic yet. So
oh yeah, he didn't sequence that chest in that way. That's so hopefully we see him grab that right here. Yeah, it looks like he's headed over to get it.
Then we'll be heading his way.
Yep.
His way over to the rock, I think.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a mirror, and he is only, probably 3/4 of a turtle rock behind.
Yeah, definitely something like that. So about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, which that's for these runners, not the duration of a Ganon fight, given the loadout of golden tempered sword and silver arrows.
Yeah, fully equipped, you could probably, without any terrible warps, you could probably do it in like 120. So that's 3 Ganon fights.
It is about a tile room gamble, though.
That would be something.
So I know what my vote's gonna be.
You get to explain that after or while Problems is busy with Trinex. We will be skipping Laser Bridge, by the way.
Yeah, you got the key already, so Laser Bridge doesn't have a key. He's going to be able to just go right on by. We'll never know what Laser Bridge had, what Mimics had.
Item-wise, probably not much. Maybe some rupees, some bombs. A bomb bag, a quiver.
Mushroom and Quake Medallion? But yeah, Cube now has his Fire Rod, so now both runners are in go mode, 4 minutes apart, really.
Yep.
And
so now it's all down to execution. Let's see if we get a 0 cycle from Problems here.
Yeah, backdoor strats looking good. And yeah, that was a nice first phase Trinex.
Very clean.
Yeah, very nice Trinex fight from Problems.
Cube doesn't have the Fire Rod yet, by the way. Oh, there's the mushroom.
I thought Cube got it. No? Cube. Oh, okay. I could have sworn I saw. Man, I'm hallucinating Fire Rod pickups for Cube, but yeah, the chat is already fired up about it. So let me go ahead and start this up. Ganon's Tower has 22 locations in which the runners could find the big key. Your job is to guess which of those 1 through 22 the runners will find it in. The winner will be given chat fame and other sorts of ignominy. But if you have donated a total of 250 bits or subbed to any speed gaming channel, 250 bits across speed gaming channels, you'll be eligible for participation in a leaderboard for such guesses. And you'll be able to lord that over all of your Twitch friends. And so, best of luck. Location 1 it was not, nor was it 2. but the double key right side. So we'll see. Looks like Problems is going full right side.
Oh, the swag block dash. Yeah, I think the advantage is big enough that a simple right-left difference won't make a huge, won't make the difference in the grand scheme of things, but might even it up a bit if the key is not here and Cube does decide to go left immediately.
Yeah. I think if Cube goes immediate tile room, that's like the equalizer there.
Yeah, that would definitely equalize the whole lot.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying I was going to be rooting for 22.
Ooh, Cube getting a little bit bullied here. Needs to be careful.
Thankfully, he did go get that powder, so he does have that safety item.
Luckily, the poke he had ran all the way to the top. He needed to go there anyway. Alright, so we're heading over to the left side. We've seen 7 locations so far.
Yep. We're going to be getting locations 8 through 11 here. In some order.
Nothing yet?
Yeah, the tile room dream is alive, or nightmare. Depends on your perspective, I suppose. Coming up on Firebar Room, I know this is a favorite of many folks. Getting a little bullied and getting 5 arrow capacity.
So, over to Fire Snake Room, location number 13.
And a bonus cane dash there. I like that.
Yeah, he's definitely showing off a little bit.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed the swag from either of these runners, feel free to go give them a follow if you want to see more content like this from them. But there it is in Fire Snake Room. The Ganon Tower Big Key.
Number 13.
So, I see some folks asserting they guessed 13, but I think only who got it first receives the ultimate credit.
Very important credit. Problems having no issue with mimics. Silvers do help a lot. And he'll be making his way over to the Gauntlet very soon.
Yeah, Upper Ganon's Tower and Gauntlet, some of the most technical execution rooms. Really, I love the end of A Link to the Past, just in terms of the room design and the execution through the end part of the run, how it just gets progressively harder, and you can really kill your runs late with time losses.
Yeah.
I think that's excellent, because usually by the time you reach endgame in a lot of games, it's almost kind of a foregone conclusion because of the gear loadout you have, but not in A Link to the Past. These rooms can pack a punch.
Yeah, you can be devastated pretty quickly. Especially with those BMOs.
Yeah, BMOs and conveyors and spikes and ice and Stalfos that don't behave. Everything is horrible, and it actually all makes for a really wonderful sequence of rooms.
Over to La Molas too. Getting the 1 cycle this time.
Yeah, there's that revenge for Problems after the Silver Arrows Landmo and Desert didn't go well. That was a very nice fight.
Cube entering against our 144. Definitely a good time as well.
Yeah, we'll be rooting for Cube to go left side here. Just to try and grind back a little bit of that deficit.
I've personally seen very little divergence in Ganon's tower routing so far, but it does seem like he'll forgo going right side. So he'll be making up about a minute.
Yeah, that's going to save just a little bit of time. We'll see. And yep, Bob is very officially dead, so rip Bob.
We hardly knew him.
We're not even going to go to Bob's room. We're just going to leave him there to rot, I suppose. It's kind of morose, but you know. This is a very dark game, despite the very colorful palette.
Yeah, definitely true.
And Problems dispatching Moldorm 2 has the hookshot ready to go. I think we're going to see with the current loadout, he's blowing by that superfluous chest there.
Yeah, with the loadout that he has, there's no reason to check anything. Full hearts, half magic, other sword, red mail. What would you want?
Yeah, there's no item that you could reasonably want at that point, except mushroom. You can always want mushroom.
But they got mushroom from Trinox.
Was mushroom on Trinex?
It's definitely on Trinox.
Well, yeah, then there's literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. Once Go mode was achieved, I kind of stopped watching some of the drops. Full disclosure, I missed what Trinex actually dropped that wasn't a crystal.
And problems for cycling Agatu.
Yeah, four's pretty typical for Agatu. Anything more than that, I start to get upset. And anything less than that, I'm usually pretty happy.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Cube taking a safer route through this spike room.
Yeah.
All Problems is falling into the Ganon pit.
Yeah, using the wall grab strats for managing those mimics. A little slower, but definitely a safer strat for Mimics 1.
Yeah, Mimics can be pretty tricky if you just lose sight of how they go just a bit.
Yeah, nice Mimics 2 there from Cube, as Problems is already on to phase 3 of Ganon. That's what Butter Sword will do for you.
Yeah, that makes it very trivial. Just 4 hits in this phase, and then a couple of silver arrows into the belly. And then you'll probably be done. As long as nothing unfortunate happens.
Yeah, so despite all of the hardship of this seed, still looking at a presumptive sub 150.
Considering he checked everything before heading into Turtle Rock, it's an amazing time.
Yeah.
Lining up Ganon for a nice double or triple right here.
Oh,
yeah, fair.
That was a sleek triple. And that'll end the fight, so well done, Problems. We'll be taking this match down. We'll see what time he crosses the threshold and stops his timer with, if the timer stops, but
look at 148.16 that he went into the room.
Yeah, we'll say dot done, dot comment, lol. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, so, it was an interesting seed, to say the least. I'll be curious to know how they feel about it.
Yeah, but most importantly, congratulations to Problems on the win there, and GG. He's going to be moving on to 2-0 in the tournament.
It's a good start to have. When you have 7 rounds, only 3 more wins to go, and then he has a secure place in the 128 player bracket.
Yeah, in order to make it through to the bracket, runners will, in order to guarantee their spot, need to perform with a record of 5-2 in the 7 rounds of the Swiss, or better.
And better is better, of course.
Yeah, so he's not in yet by any means. There's a ton of A Link to the Past to play, but a very good start. He's going to be in the top 128 players after this week. There'll be 128 2-0 players. So
We still got a ways to go, but 2-0 is definitely a nice start to have. And 1-1 is definitely not out. Not at all.
no, 0-2 is still live.
Anyone in the tournament is still live.
Yeah. So even at the conclusion of this week, no matter how badly it has gone for any one of you, you are still live in this tournament. That won't be true next week for everyone, but this week we can say it. But it looks like Problems has joined us here for an interview. GG, Problems, and congratulations on the win. How are you feeling?
GG, thank you.
How did you feel about the seed? It was definitely a pleasure to watch.
It was fun. It was fun, but God, I played bad. It was nice. I mean, if I go to Eastern earlier, it kind of plays itself, except for Fire On. And it's funny. It was kind of a roller coaster of emotions because the first time I went to Death Mountain with the mirror, I was like, "Damn, I should have grabbed that cane." Because I could have gone to T-Rock without the Fire On. But then I would have doubled it T-Rock, so that kind of worked out in the end. But there was also a bunch of stuff that went really wrong, especially the damn mirror.
Yeah, the mirror definitely was out of your reach for a while. But after that, it definitely seemed like... Well, overall, it seemed like you had quite a good grasp on the seed.
Oh yeah, it was
Aghanim.
pretty convenient afterwards. Oh yeah, Aghanim, skipping Aghanim was a pretty big one. I kind of took a while to realize that. And then this was actually Aghanim required. I was like 4 crystals in until I was like, wait, damn, I skipped Aghanim.
Yeah, you and Cube actually both broke around Aghanim with the fake flippers to Hobo. But Cube was in Eastern sort of maybe half an hour before you.
Yeah, I figured that's much. Like that mirror did not feel good.
Yeah, that was one of the big storylines in this was when is Problems going to find his way over to Eastern to get that mirror, because once you got into the Dark World, you know, got your Titan's Mitt especially, it was just a matter of, well, there's so much other high value stuff.
Oh, yeah.
When does Pendant Eastern come up?
Yeah, I don't know. I like going Eastern early when it's a pendant especially. But when that bow showed up, it just opened so many possibilities. It's like suddenly I had everything to go to Eastern, to go to Pod, and obviously I'd go to Crystal Pod over Pendant Eastern, and then I found the mitts, and from there it was just... There was just no way I was going back to Eastern.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was going.
Yeah.
There were so many better options that in the end it was a matter of time before you would head back to Eastern.
Yeah, at some point I had to, because there was still 6 items with Shabadoo's hut. But for the most part, there were just a lot better options.
Of course, the Ice Palace tip as well.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time before I saw you heading in there.
That was more of a desperation play, honestly, because I don't want to go there without the hook shot. But there's only so long I can wait for the hook shot before I kind of feel like I have to go.
Yeah, I was surprised to see you pass on going to get Kane before going into Swamp there. So you went into Swamp and then did Kane kind of after you'd already done Death Mountain, and it was...
Yeah, I shouldn't have, like... It helped me in the end, because I avoided a really, really deep double dip into Turtle Rock, but like in retrospect I should have done it differently. And like after Mirror grabbed the canes, so I'm ready to dip into T-Rock, because generally going into T-Rock without the Fire Rod is a very low risk play, because most of the time you're just going to be done really fast without the Fire Rod. But in this case, going to T-Rock early would have been terrible.
Yeah, it would have sent you, I think, all the way to Laser Bridge.
Yeah, all the way to Laser Bridge.
Yeah, Cube has finished up meanwhile. Sorry, just want to say GG to Cube, finishing with a 153.41. Hopefully, he will also grace us with an interview.
That was definitely a beauty to watch. A lot of different routing that at some point converged into the Death Mountain play for both of you. It's really interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was nicely divergent early. Cube, like I'd mentioned, spent more time in Light World and got over to Eastern early. And welcome, Cube and
Yeah.
GG.
Hello, GG.
Hey, Cube.
Would you believe me if I told you that the fire rod was also in that chest in my first round match?
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Oh, shucks.
I was personally surprised that when you headed onto East Death Mountain for the first time, that you did not dip into Turtle Rock when you opened it. I thought it would have been a reasonable play. In the end, it ended up working out because you would have wasted more time than you'd have gained by getting the fire rod. But
Yeah, I don't really like to make that play much. Especially when I've got at least 3 other chests just outside to go look at.
yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
So, one of the things you did that was a sort of the biggest driver of divergence between your routing and Problems routing was prior to going to Dark World, you wandered over and dove into Eastern Palace, Independent Eastern, and found that mirror. How do you feel about that early Eastern play versus with early Dark World access broken from Hobo? Sort of what was the decision there?
Okay, so my thought process here was I found that hammer. And I was actually almost disappointed because that item was almost too good, right? My assumption was that when I found that hammer that the flippers were basically free. So I figured the flippers have to be in Eastern, so let's just go get them real quick. And as it turned out, that's not what the seed wanted at all.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
seed definitely expected you to kill a certain wizard.
Yes, for the first half hour, especially once I found Titan mates, I was feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, you and Problems both got to the hammer via the sequence break, so there was no we have no idea how many blue balls were in this seed.
Yeah, I kind of figured that he would. It doesn't seem like it's an item you would miss.
Yeah,
I guess-
especially for the first hour, definitely. It really wasn't clear who had the advantage. You had the early mirror, while Problems only dipped into Eastern when it was one of the last locations he had. But you both entered Death Mountain around the same time to go into Hera.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing was that a lot of the mirror overworld that you spent a lot of time on early just didn't pan out, other than the Canis Samaria, of course, which, Problems also, knew was kind of waiting.
Yeah,
One thing
I got that shovel. That was cool.
Yeah, that was great. Well, I wanted to ask, when you went up to do Catfish Cube, we were expecting you to mirror and go grab the powder and then route in the bat check with.
Yeah, I
the
just
mirror
forgot.
overworld.
I straight up forgot, and I felt really bad about it as soon as I saved.
Yeah, we figured that was likely just an omission by kind of like reflex, but
Yeah, that's definitely would have been the play. I just
yeah.
that up, and I realized it pretty much instantaneously too. Was the worst part, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I always do stuff like that, and then I'm, kicking myself mentally for 5 minutes and making mistakes downstream. And thankfully, you did not do any of those things. But yeah, it was a really compelling and very close race. It was not apparent for, I'd say, the first hour and 35-ish minutes, who was going to be able to win that one, or who was even strongly favored to win. So thank you both for a really nice race.
Yeah, personally, I'm pretty happy with this too, because for me, Problems is a dark horse to win this whole damn thing. So to come in only 5 minutes behind him is good enough for me.
Yeah, this was a pretty deep seed as far as where the logic required you to go, and you both finished with sub 155 times. Those are some times. So I mean, I fully expect subsequent rounds where maybe you aren't running into buzzsaw problems to treat you a little better.
Well, it's the way it goes, right? Somebody's got to play.
Oh yeah, to win the tournament, you'll have to go through problems. It seems.
Yes.
But definitely with gameplay like this, it seems like you have a good shot at making it into brackets at least. So good luck in the following few rounds.
Well, I hope so. That's all I can say. GG's, fun race.
Yeah. And any other comments you had about the race?
If I could get a fire rod that wasn't in Turtle Rock, would be cool. Other than that, we're good.
Anything on your end? Problems? Anything
No.
that stood out to you?
Not really, no.
Oh, well, thank you both very much for letting Error and I commentate and for the very nice race. And GG to both of you, Cube and Problems. Congrats on moving on to 2-0.
Thank you. Thank you for you guys for commentating. We set this race up like, I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but we set this race up like 1.5 hours before we actually started racing. So you guys setting up a restream and being there for commentary is great.
Yeah, thanks for that. It was extremely short notice for sure.
Yeah, big shout outs to the folks who work so hard on setting up these restreams and Speed Gaming and everyone behind the scenes for making this happen, providing a platform for us to all get to enjoy this race.
I can only agree with that. It's been great watching this tournament so far, and I'm sure there will only be great races after this. So
yeah, so that's going to be an early match for round 2 in the books. But thank you, Error, for letting me commentate with you.
yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me.
And thank you, chat, for keeping us in check, keeping track of all the items for us. It was very, very helpful.
And of course, thanks to our tracker and to the restreaming personnel behind the scenes. They've been doing a great job.
Yeah, we'll be getting that last screen here from Problems in just a minute, and that will do it for us. But yeah, just only a five.
That's probably GT right side.
All right, that'll do it for us for today. Let's see what is next on the schedule. There are lots of races that have already been scheduled for round 2, so let's see what's coming up the rest of today. Looks like at 5 p.m. just kicking off, we have Divo versus Zebra Unicorn over on Speed Gaming 4. Then there's multiple 6 p.m. races. There's an 8 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., 2 9 p.m.s, all happening on Speed Gaming channels, and then a couple 12:30s as well, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. So races for the rest of the evening already. I'll highlight that the 6 p.m. is happening over on the ALTTP Randomizer channel. So if you're not following those channels as well as the Speed Gaming channels, go give Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 2 through 6, plus all the ALTTP Randomizer channels. I think it's 1 through 5, if I'm remembering correctly. It might be 4. But give those a follow, and you'll be able to check out all sorts of matches. 512 participants in this tournament, so 256 matches per week. That's more than you can watch if you watch it on 1X, if everything were to be restreamed. So, yeah. Enjoy the tournament. I know I am.
It only means that we need to get 3 more screens and watch everything at the same time, obviously.
That's a great idea, Error. I just need, like, multiple sets of headphones and everything. But thank you for commentating with me, and have a great day.
Same to you. Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one, see you.